Well, welcome home, everybody, to the May 31st, 2020 edition of My DVC Points Live. We are a community hall-based show, and today we've got some major news this week. But before we get into that, I want to come back in and welcome in our co-host. And if you could, please like, subscribe on YouTube, share the show out. Let's help get some message out because we are a pretty positive group overall. And tonight's show is all about member reactions to this crazy news week that we had. I've been leading this show for almost 2 years now. I can honestly say we've not had such a major news week since I've started doing this. So let's welcome back to the show, Marianne. So, hey, Marianne.
Hi,
guys. So you're rocking the mask tonight, huh, Marianne?
I'm going to Disney.
Well, we can see where that's at, okay?
You can't hear me, but I'm going to Disney and I'm wearing my mask.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. So let's come back in and let's come back in and welcome Samantha to the show.
Hey, everybody.
You too?
And mine match my ears.
Okay, then. Well, I guess that kind of says a lot then, right? You're rocking you're matching, you're rocking a matching set of ears and masks tonight.
Make the best of it.
Make the best of it. Okay. So I'm seeing a pattern here. Let's welcome Shannon back to the show as well.
Hi. Yeah, I can't breathe. I'm wearing it for 2 minutes before the show, waiting, and I'm like, you had to pick me last. I can't breathe. Plus, given all the news, I brought refreshments for today. So I figured it was the episode. We needed a drink.
It definitely is. It is definitely a hot news week. And so let me say hello to some people who are tuning in, and let's say hello to Evelyn and Shannon, and hi, Mark in Buffalo. Vicky's tuning in. Tony Ann says hello.
Andy Berry.
Yep. Our buddy Andy Berry is tuning in. Dude, I love that camel photo. Right? So now it needs to have Andy and everybody else cropped into it, but I've seen the original photo there. I think we used it for our episode art from our interview with him, but it's him and his family on camels in Egypt from an ABD. So really fun stuff. So, hey, Bonnie, welcome to the show tonight, and welcome, Mandy. And tonight's show, well, let's get this started off with our normal announcements and things like that. So first off, when is everybody going home? What is your guys' countdown shares? So, Marianne, what about you?
Let me look on my DVC Points app. Let me look. Oh, 49 days.
49 days. All right. Samantha?
I am at 193.
So awesome. And Shannon?
I think it's 56. I think I checked yesterday, 57. So I think it's 56. So I'm just after Marianne.
Got it. And I actually have the app up. So, and I'm at 66 days till Hilton Head. If that thing happens, right? We don't know. But anyways, that's the My DVC Points app, and that's what we use for all of our countdowns and our countdown shares. So the app's available on the App Store and Google Play, and it's been out about a month or two now. It came out in the middle of this Corona lockdown, which is really appropriate because a bunch of people are canceling and rebooking and replanning, and the app will help you with all of that stuff.
It's such a good app. You guys really, I am tech not savvy. I am tech stupid. I'll just admit it. I am not a tech girl, and I find the app so helpful. So if you haven't dove in, go to your App Store, your Google Play, or wherever you need to go and just look at it, because I think you'll be surprised how much you like it.
Yeah, it's techie nerdy as well. It's on the financial nerdy side, and even the next patch for it, and next little update's going to take that up a notch. Then we'll start moving back into some of the other cool things, like taking that countdown share and making it a meme creator. So you can just share what your countdown is right from the phone.
Oh, that's awesome.
That'll be great.
Yeah, so we'll make it easier for everybody to do their countdown shares. And I wish StreamYard would let people post it into the Facebook column and let me see the deal, but all I can see is the text. I can't see photos if you post those. But in tuning in tonight, so
We have a lot of people counting down.
We do.
yeah, we do. We have a lot of people counting down tonight. So Mark's at 104 days. And this answers part of our questions as well, because one of our questions is how does this news this week impact your stuff? But we'll get to that in a bit. But I mean, people are still doing countdowns, so it's kind of like y'all showing up with the mask. It tells me a lot. Okay? So Holly's got 195 days to
We'll be there at
Copper
the same
Creek.
time.
Yay. And then Bonnie says October 7th. And Amy's July 22nd. She thinks that's about 50 days. And Andy he clarified riding a camel in the Sahara Desert in Morocco in spring of 2019. Yeah, and that was not the Morocco in the Epcot Pavilion either, okay? that was the legit deal, okay? Dan Austin says 195 days, Copper Creek and Jumbo. And it looks like, you are going with Holly because that's your wife.
Oh, they're going
I'm glad to
together.
hear that. I just had to put two and two together there. Okay? Not the sharpest guy in it all the time, right? I blame it on COVID, right? It's COVID lockdown craziness. But John says 125 days and 139 days for Katie Jean going to Copper Creek. Got a lot of Copper Creek visits coming up.
Yeah.
Jennifer saying 47 days, and I know she's a teacher.
She's right at the opening, like right after the opening. 47 days.
Yeah. Really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. And so Randy says hi.
Jennifer can be our guinea pig.
Yeah, Jennifer, we'll have to join us if you're there on a Sunday and do a kind of a woman on the street, so to speak, and join us in live. So that would be a ton of fun right there. And then,
Hey, Beth.
so, yep.
Hey, Beth, are you going to go with me? That's my friend that meets me and goes to Disney a lot with me. They're from Florida. So
Got it. Randy's saying 163 days. Another Copper Creek vote. 105 for another Copper Creek. Man, we're the Copper Creek loving group tonight. I'm telling you. Okay. Here we go. Here's somebody kind of that's leaning towards my camp on things. It was 76, more likely be 398 now. So, and then 49 days till Boardwalk, 193 days. And, Dan's saying Sam will have to meet at Geyser Point for trivia.
Definitely.
hopefully they'll have it.
Socially distant trivia.
Socially distant trivia. I've been doing that on Wednesdays and Fridays, right?
I picked the hardest day to actually do it. The day of Voices of Liberty. That was the hardest.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a hard night, but it was still fun. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, I had a ball, but the timing never really works for me, so I never get in time.
Yep. And then Sean saying 47 to Animal Kingdom. And Jennifer gladly accepts the volunteer guinea pig roles.
Excellent.
193 for Mandy going to Polly.
Nice.
And Robert, 22 days to Polly. So it sounds like you're going to be in that park only period. Or that resort only. Yeah.
Resort
Yeah.
You are really the guinea pig.
Hopefully
He
Trader
really
Sam's will be open.
And Mike is saying 86 days. And so.
And I think that's really cool. What he said is for a Halloween party, maybe. And that's something we'll probably talk about in a little bit too.
Oh, yes. I was looking tonight to see if there was Not So Scary tickets available.
You can get them on Undercover Tourist. Undercover.
Oh, can you still?
Yes. As of yesterday, I checked yesterday. My husband and I actually talked about if we were going to do it or not. We are, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But yeah, as of last night, you could still get them on Undercover Tourist. And I also use tickets at work.
Interesting.
Awesome. And then 29 days for Ron. And so we'll kind of wrap that up. And let's just come back in and let me recap some of the news here. So let me drag this down in. And so big announcements this week. July 11th will be the date Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom opens. July 15th for Epcot and DHS. And then it looks like DVC is going to start prioritizing some point usage to kind of help solve this abundance of points problems that we have. And I did some quick math based on a calculation that one of the My DVC Points community members posted. And it looks like there's about 70.8 million points out there in circulation.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we've been closed for, let's just say 4 months, that's 18 million points that are out there in circulation.
Oh my goodness.
Nothing came out of here. Okay. So that's a lot of stinking points. Okay.
Saratoga Springs, here we come.
Right now nobody poops on mine to Saratoga Springs.
Hey, I own there, so
yeah. So Saratoga, it's looking like you're gonna be doing some 11-month bookings for all of that as well.
Yep.
And then let's see. Other big news, June 15th, Vero Beach and Hilton Head open up. So that's really cool to see those guys coming in and opening up sooner because they're not really dependent on a theme park.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. And then June 22nd, the Orlando DVC resorts and Fort Wilderness campgrounds will be opening. And then I looked at that and I went, well, that kind of makes sense. They're going to try to relieve some of the point pressure. And then with Fort Wilderness, it's pretty clean and simple because you essentially bring your living quarters with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm curious if that's going to include the cabins too.
yeah, that will be something to see if that does include the cabins because
I mean, you're socially distant with the cabin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It makes sense, but
yeah, you're far away, you're in standalone units, but then they've got to come back in and clean them. And yeah, I was wondering as well, are they going to come back in and get some of those airport, like hospital UV sanitizers? Have you seen those?
I have.
Yeah, they're
Right.
intense.
Where they kind of like roll them in and it's kind of like a Roomba that comes back in and just blasts everything with UV light. In a couple of minutes, it's in there. It's killed everything that can be killed. And, then it shuts down and sends probably a remote signal to a staff saying you can come in now and wheel it on into the next room.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if DVC invests in some of those as well, but that'll be interesting to find out as well. But that being said and done, okay, the other major news in this rollout plan was everybody got their fast passes canceled. Okay.
I had Mickey and Runaway Railway.
I did too.
It's the only thing I was really upset about.
I had Millennium Falcon for Katie Lou, who hasn't been there yet and is dying. And I had a Runaway Railway, and I had all the hit parade of all of our favorites. And and I'm a planner, so but it'll be fine. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, and as well, I mean, Gina did some research and figured out that about 5 different emails came out to DVC members based on people publishing their copies. I got 2 of them, and one for an AP holder and then one from the DVC side of things. But, which version of emails did you guys get sent? And then they retracted a few things this week as well. So it's just like a really confusing week of news.
Exactly. I only got the AP holder email, but my original reservation was for June 28th. And as soon as all this rumbling happened, I went in and changed my reservation to that July date. And I wonder if I just slid in just so close to all the changes that it missed that DVC email. So I'm going to wait and watch the news carefully. And then if I don't hear anything about when I'm supposed to make a reservation, I might sit on the phone for a while and call member services and go, help.
Got it. Got it. I'm going to kill this light here. It's kind of bothering me.
And Samantha, did you get an email?
So I got the same email that Marianne got. I got the AP email. It did mention Fast Pass and dining reservations, which my trip's not till December, so those weren't even on my radar yet. But yeah, I got the same one.
So I got the DVC. We don't have APs. Our expired in December, and our plan was to get them sometime this year. That's changed. We have 1-day park hoppers already on our account each. So I got you have a reservation. Your fast passes and dining are being canceled, but you will get first dibs at reservations to the park because you have you have tickets. It says tickets, but we only have a ticket. So that's the one we got.
And even then, they're probably going to refund the difference to you to cancel the park hopper.
Well,
parts.
actually, my park hopper is because we were got kicked off of Rise of the Resistance the day it opened because we got in and we waited 13 hours to get onto the ride, and the ride broke down, and then so they gave everybody park hoppers. So it's a complimentary park hopper. So again, we're not spending any money for it. Our plan was to use the 1 day and do 2 parks. Obviously, that's not going to happen. They're not going to have. There's not going to be any park hopping, but we didn't spend any money for the ticket, so it is what it is. But that's we're not planning. So I'm in the middle. We will go, but because we didn't pay any money for the ticket, it was free. It was complimentary, and we want to see Mickey's and Minnie Runaway Railway, blah, 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 blah. Let me have another glass of wine. And it didn't cost us anything, but will we buy other tickets? No, absolutely not. Not until masks aren't required.
Got it. Got it. Let's come back to some of the crowd answers here as well. And well, Michelle says that she's with Katie, bring on Galaxy's Edge. Okay.
And Michelle is a very good friend of ours too. She's been jonesing for Katie to get to go. Michelle has a band. One of the got kicked out because of COVID free dining deals that she's gotten. She's gotten bumped now out of her free dining, but she's got a reservation at the Contemporary, and she checks in July 10th is what her check-in date is. So we'll see if the Contemporary side will be open for her. I don't know that she's heard anything yet about that.
So here, I know we want to go through everybody else, but here's the interesting thing. So I had reservations for fast passes for July, dining for July and October, and everything is gone. Except when they announced July 11th, I was planning on being in town because that was the weekend of Mrs. Florida. It has also been postponed. So I went in and just made a dining reservation at Liberty Tree Tavern for my family for July 11th, thinking, okay, well, that's the only reservation that's still there. I'm sure it's going to disappear, but that's the one that stayed, which I find funny.
That is interesting.
I don't know.
But coming back in here just to finish this up, Amy says that 3 APs in her family and didn't get a single email.
Check your junk folder. Check your junk folder.
Check your junk folder.
And Disney IT, let's be real.
Yeah.
If you have Gmail, mine went into my promotions folder, so it didn't even show up in my main inbox. I had to right before the show, I had to go digging for it.
That's a really good tip.
Got it. Evelyn says she got both the DVC and AP one. I did as well, and I got mine at 10 o'clock at night. It was.
I didn't get mine to the next day.
Yeah. And then John got both emails. He has an August reservation and a current AP. And then Amy saying no emails either. And she has 4 trips in the next 7 months.
Check your junk folder. Check your junk folder.
I mean, I should be there right now. Okay. I should be in Disney right now.
Oh.
Okay. And I had dining reservations and fast passes and everything else. And when they canceled them, I didn't even get an email saying anything has been canceled. So, and
it seemed like they were canceling before they made the announcement, because I kept seeing things on Facebook saying all my fast passes have disappeared, all my ADRs have disappeared, and people are like, oh, it's a glitch, they keep reappearing. And then Thursday night, I just basically Facebook just all hell broke loose, and then everything just started snowballing, and I went to sleep at 1 a.m. just reading everything. It was crazy.
Yeah. So that's the emails that we got. And what's your plan? Are you guys going? Are you waiting it out? Are you resort only? And then The other little tidbit that I've heard some rumors on, now this is just all unconfirmed rumors, okay? But I've heard they may be taking that period where it's a soft opening, okay, for the DVC members that are there to come back in and do a soft opening for the parks there at like, June 22nd when those resorts open up. That's just an unconfirmed rumor. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't let people with tickets or APs that are DVC members that are there come back in and start to put some soft trials through this. But time will have to tell. We'll have to see on that. But what are you guys doing? I mean, y'all rocked your masks here.
But I also wouldn't make a reservation with the hopes of getting into the parks before July 11th because soft open. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Nope. So what are you guys doing? What's your plans? Are you going? Are you waiting? Would you go in this resort only period?
Well, my whole family isn't going. It is just Katie and I. And so we are going to go. And we have 2 nights at Saratoga in a standard room. And then we switch to 5 nights in a preferred room.
Ooh.
Now, the question will be, will I get a new room? Or will I be in the Springs again? I jinxed myself last time, so I don't really know what to say about that.
I was getting excited that you were doing a split stay and you were going to go someplace other than Saratoga. You're telling me you're just...
Oh, no, when we moved dates, then I kind of got it was kind of like, so nope, nothing was open. So nope, I'm going to be in Saratoga the whole week. But, actually for Katie and I think it might be the best of both worlds, because if we can't get into parks every day, which it doesn't sound like there's any chance that we're going to get into parks every day, that we'll be at Saratoga Springs. So we're going to have a choice of 4 different pools to go to, and not counting the tree houses. There's the two quiet pools at Grandstand and Congress Park, and then the 2 feature pools with water slides at Paddock and Springs. So there's a really good chance we will be able to get into a pool every single day. It's not like at the Poly when there's the one pool, You
don't have to wear a mask at the pool.
And I don't have to wear a mask in the pool.
Oh, that's the most beautiful news I've heard. Okay.
So I will be happy to sit in my swimsuit in the shallow end of the pool and watch Katie swim and not wear my mask. And
at Saratoga, you also get 2 pools with slides and
2
one
pools
pool
with
with
slides,
a splash pad.
Mm-hmm.
1 pool with a splash pad. We're walking distance or a boat ride to Disney Springs, which all of that will be open and rolling, fully, since they've already opened that. So we'll have lots of dining options. And really the goal of our trip is to get in and get Katie into Galaxy's Edge. And I'm hoping when reservations open back up, I'm going to be able to get a lightsaber reservation for her and a droid reservation for her, because she's sitting on gift card money from birthdays and Christmases to do both of those things.
And she hasn't been to Galaxy's Edge whatsoever, huh?
And she has not had a chance to go, because when I went on the trip in February, it was Sarah and I for the cheerleading trip.
It.
So
got it. So Samantha, what's the verdict here?
So my plans for December are not changing. I actually got really lucky this morning. I was able to add another night at Boulder Ridge. So we'll be doing a split stay between Boulder Ridge and Jumbo. And it's kind of the perfect time if we don't get into a park every single day. We can do all the Christmas activities around the resorts. So the day that we're at Boulder Ridge, we can go to all the Magic Kingdom resorts, check out all their stuff. And when we're at Animal Kingdom Lodge, we can just kind of chill there. So I'm hoping we can get into at least some parks. I'm crossing my fingers that the Christmas party happens in some capacity, but if not, it's not the worst thing in the world. We just want to go back to Disney, and me and my ears and matching mask will be there.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So you're still going with masks with this. You're just going to make the best out of the resort only time if necessary.
Yep.
Shannon, how's this impacting you?
So we have 3 trips planned. So we have July, October, and December. December is our annual big trip. It's usually between 8 and 9 nights. So July is paid for because 2/3, it's 3 nights, 2/3 of that is rented. So we're going. It's also my birthday trip. My birthday actually is July 12th, so the day after Magic Kingdom opens. We planned it around the Typhoon Lagoon Moonlight Magic, which I'm sure somebody did ask. I'm sure we're going to get to it later if we think that's going to still happen. So we pushed the trip back 2 weeks to hopefully go into Moonlight Magic at Typhoon Lagoon, but it was always planned to be a staycation. We had planned to use that park hopper to go to the 2 parks one day, but it was always to go to the beach club. We're staying at the beach club, stay at the beach club pool. My son's now 4.5. The last time we stayed there, he was 1.5 years and really didn't get to enjoy it. So that was always the plan. So
pirate slide time for him.
Oh yeah. So and let me tell you, I am usually the person that's kind of like, yeah, I'll sunbathe while my husband and son are in the pool. I will probably be in the pool so I don't have to wear a mask. But I think we can manage going to Hollywood Studios one day back and forth. Hopefully they'll, there's some leeway as far as taking a break, but and manage with the mask. But again, we don't plan on purchasing tickets as long as we have to wear a mask. So our October and December trips are up in the air, especially October. I think December things will hopefully have laxed at that point. But that's our long vacation. That's our real vacation. So I think we'll probably do that in some capacity, but maybe shorten it. I got right now 4 nights at Boardwalk Standard, so I'm not giving that up. So if anything, we're going for 4 nights, maybe not the 9 nights that we were planning, that I have waitlisted for the rest. But, so that one's kind of in question. October is completely up in the air because October is, I think it's still pretty close to the opening. We won't wear masks. October is still pretty hot, depending.
It is.
And our plan was to go to the Hollywood Studios Moonlight Magic and the Halloween party. So those are the 2 things. So if Halloween party doesn't happen or you're required to wear masks, it's out. And then the Moonlight Magic, if it's not happening, we're not going. So Mrs. Florida has been pushed back now to Labor Day. So we will be in Orlando Labor Day weekend. So we might tag in a day there. I don't know.
You might just sneak a twofer out of this and get that crown for 2 years, Shannon.
I know, right? So trust me, I'm done. But I feel bad for the contestants because they just constantly are getting ready and it keeps getting pushed back. But so there's a lot of leeway but the thing with living in Florida and living in South Florida, we're 3.5 hours away. It's still money. It's still my points. My point, I still think is money. It's still time and money. And I have a 4.5-year-old. I sent you guys the video. I asked him, I said, we had this discussion yesterday, as much as you can with a 4.5-year-old. And I explained that if we go to Disney World, he's going to have to wear a mask. And then we talked about Legoland. And he said, well, basically I said, which one would you rather go to? And he said, Legoland. And I said, why? And he goes, because I won't have to wear a mask. He's 4.5. And he'll wear it, but he wears it for about 20 minutes and then it comes down and then it's off. So he doesn't fight it, which I know. I have a friend that her son she tried to get him a haircut and she had to leave because he just would not wear it. So my son will wear it, but for short periods of time. So I think it's just all kind of up in the air, and I just don't want to, and then I don't want to wear the mask, to be honest. Like, I just don't want to wear it. Yeah.
I'm with you. I mean,
and that's, I understand why they're doing it.
I got the Baby Yoda gig, but
there you go.
Right.
I understand why they're doing it,
but no.
It's a long time, and I don't think, I live in Florida. I don't think people realize how hot it is. It's good. I mean, I have to stand in line to get into Trader Joe's. The other day I was in line for 15 minutes and it's hot. It's hot. So, look, I think it's going to help in the beginning to get people, to deter people from going, and they're going to need to limit capacity. So that's going to help limit capacity. But, once they start to increase capacity and they're able, I think at some point, I'm hoping that by October and at least by December, that is now optional. It's maybe encouraged, like they're doing at Legoland. It's encouraged, but it's optional. And we will have our masks that if we're in line, we'll put on mask. If we're in line, like an air conditioned line and we're with other people, we'll put our mask on. I get that. But I think when you're walking outside, it doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah. And we have a trip, man, this is like my finish out tour of DVC trip as well.
Oh,
I mean, like getting Hilton Head in August was like a miracle from heaven. Okay. Yeah. So I have 3 days at Hilton Head, 2 days in a value at Animal Kingdom. The sun, stars, and moon aligned up. Like I can
That's
knock
pretty
out
crazy.
values off my
Yeah.
list. Okay. And then the only thing I'd have left there would be the club level rooms. Okay. So that would still be on my list. And then we were going on a DCL cruise for 4 days. And that just doesn't even sound anywhere near magical to me right now with masks and all of that and social distancing on a cruise ship.
And I don't think they're going to happen in
I
August.
don't either.
I don't see them happening either, but I'm holding out. And then we were going to do 4 days at Vero, and that would have like knocked out my tour to DVC. The only thing I would have left would be Alani next year, which I've been debating on should I get a Grand Villa or not. And so if I could and cancel all of that this summer and just say I'm all in on the Grand Villa in 2021, I'd do it. But I've got borrowed points on my Saratoga contract, so I don't know that they'll put them back. So I could end up having to do something. But other than that, Terry Weaver's The Thing event is going to happen in November. And Laura already gave me permission to just say, hey, even if you have to get a 1-bedroom at Saratoga, just go get it and burn out whatever points you want. I don't care, which is an unusual thing because normally that's like points are meant for family use and, a guy's trip or, I guess a self-improvement trip to go to this conference or get better at podcasting and social media stuff. She's all in. So I at least I have that blessing, but that's where my family's at. Let's take a look at some of the comments here.
There's a lot of long comments.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of long comments as well, but we'll get to them though. And
So someone,
lot
I think it
going
was
on.
Mike Hill earlier, and I just want to point out, he commented about everyone in his party had a Halloween ticket except for one person. I don't remember who, but check Undercover Tourist because as of yesterday, you could still buy and then add it to your account. So if you need to buy that ticket and you're worried about it. So I know, Marion, everyone else said that they're concerned about getting reservations. I'm not concerned about getting a reservation to the parks. I think that priority is going to go to people at the resorts and DVC. I think that's going to be the priority. Personally, I could be wrong, but most people stay off property. I'm not really concerned about that. I don't know if other people are.
yeah.
I mean, Chad, what do you think?
For staying off property, I think he's got a good shot.
No, I'm saying if you're staying on property, do you think it's going to be very hard? Maybe not get the park of your choice, but do you think it's going to be hard to get a resort reservation? I mean, a park reservation. If you're staying on property.
I think they're going to throw some love towards DVC members.
That's what I think
really
too.
what I think as well.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so too.
I that's just my own gut feeling, right?
Me too.
But Ron says he's doing resort only and he'll be very happy to be there, but a soft opening would be amazing.
Because
And-
Ron was one of those 22-dayers.
Oh, he's like,
Yeah,
he's
close.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
going when they open. So
And then John says he's waiting till summer 21, not entirely comfortable with the health risk at this point. Was also going to be a first time for my guest, and I didn't want to give him less than 100%
Absolutely.
experience.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
picking up what you're laying down there, John. Okay.
that makes a lot of sense, especially since you're taking a guest and it's their first time. In my opinion, for my family, for Katie and I, it's not the last time we're going to Disney World. We're going to go again and again and again. That's the beauty of DVC. But if I was taking somebody and it was their very first time or their one and only trip, you bet we wouldn't be going.
Yeah.
Yep. So Amy saying yes. My son's only wish for Christmas was a lightsaber, some Savis. And now we've lost the reservation twice. Oh my gosh. I hope you can get one for July.
Me too, Amy.
Yeah,
I'm right there
probably-
with you.
I would be hitting up member services with that story as well to see if,
Yeah.
hey, is there any way you can sneak me into this, get me in someplace, put me on the no-show list, something along those lines. And
I know I have a baby sitting on money. She's been sitting on for almost 2 years now to do that. So I totally get what you're saying, Amy.
yep. And Mark's saying he always loves the resorts at Christmas time. And Mike was planning a Christmas party as well.
So am I.
Yep.
Sorry, that's how we end our December trip.
Yep. And then Katie Jean says we're hoping to go to Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom in October. Not sure about Epcot yet. Depends on where they are with construction.
It's
Yeah.
it's
And
a
And with all the walls, it's kind of hard to keep people apart because there's so many bottlenecks that those construction walls have created.
Oh,
So,
good point.
Yeah, so Epcot's going to be a weird park, I think.
That's a really good point.
They should just
Really
hand out
good
hard hats when you walk in.
That's a really, really, really good point.
Because usually you think of Epcot as the wide open, easy park, but right now with all the construction walls, it is not a wide
And
open.
Anything
easy
but.
park.
It definitely wasn't in January.
No, it
That's
wasn't in
actually
February.
What we haven't talked about, what we didn't touch base on the news, was that Spaceship Earth is now showing as under refurbishment.
Yep.
So it was always planned to go after Memorial Day. It was going to go out, but a lot of people thought it was going to come back maybe because of the closure. It's now showing under refurbishment. So if you didn't get that farewell to the current version, you're out of luck.
And I saw a bunch of YouTubers just, not happy that they didn't get to go in and get their final footage and their farewell deal. So yeah, I feel bad for that one.
They didn't get stuck at the top of it.
We went in December and I kind of felt like it was going to be the last time we saw it. And that was the truth.
We got stuck at the top of it. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow. Was that a long walk down or?
Well, no, we sat there for a while and I kept going, oh, I don't want to walk down. I don't want to walk down. I don't want to walk down. So.
And it's probably better because how could they sanitize those touch screens after every single ride?
Yeah.
Oh, there are ways. There'll be ways. I have faith in that. I have faith in Disney in that one. All that kind of stuff, they're going to have that lickety split. We're going to be like, wow.
Amanda's got a pretty big comment here. Let's see if we can get this one up there. So, she took up half the screen. So, she says, do we know for sure if the boats to Disney Spring will run?
We know nothing.
Also, do we know that they aren't going to limit the people in the resorts, as in scan your magic band for a reservation, dining or resort? Just some things I've been wondering. They have to limit the capacity to those places. Some of us would be just fine. Resort hopping, snacking, shopping, etc., so that it could get crowded quickly.
So I think the only thing they said will be running is the ferries, right?
And the monorail.
And that's because you have to get to Magic Kingdom. I mean, that's the only way. You can't park at Magic Kingdom, so that's the only way. That's going to be really interesting. How to social, and I mean, the Skyliner is probably the easiest to social distance on. But they haven't run it. If they run it.
But it would be the hardest to clean because after every group, you would have to try to.
I think you do every other, and then there's a spray. Like, there's been a couple of people that I've heard like you go do every other one, and during downtimes they don't. You're not really like waiting. Filling every single one. So I think that's probably a way, probably the easiest. Definitely easier than the monorail, which is already pretty sketchy. So.
Yeah, and then Kathy was saying that she's still planning on going in December and hoping it will be better by then.
Same way.
I think they should have a lot of kinks worked out by December.
And we always do our Disney Fine Art Photography. They're closed at the moment, so I always book when I book my vacation, and they're closed. So they're furloughed, right? So we don't even know if they're going to be shooting. So I would assume that they will be in December, but they also have a backlog of brides, and obviously they take precedence.
Absolutely.
So we don't know. And this was the year we were planning because my son is turning 5 and it's our 10-year anniversary. So this was the year we were going to do it at a park and shoot at Epcot. Aww. So, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But we don't even know if they're going to be shooting. So
yeah, I know one of them. So I can get you one of them that are maybe off record.
Yeah, okay? There's a couple people that are local photographers, but I do like shooting with Disney.
Yeah. Yep. And then Amanda's saying she would ask because they put back the borrowed points for her today.
Okay.
And so maybe they'll do that. I mean, I wouldn't want to use like a one-time exception for it, but if it's their policy, then that'd be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
That would just be completely awesome. And then Amy was saying, I'm hoping for these upcoming stays that there aren't any pool restrictions. Currently, some of the largest hotel chains require time reservations and time limits at the pool. Just encountered that here nearby on the Gulf Coast Beaches Hotel. I hope they lift this soon, and maybe Disney will be different. Yeeks.
Well,
Again,
at Beach
Saratoga.
Club, well, at Beach Club, if you think about the size of Beach Club and Yacht Club, if they're only opening the DVC portion, it's a very small building as comparison
you guys
to
have
the other
all
two.
kinds of space.
Yeah, so
They might even shut down part of it, saying we're not going to put lifeguards in it or something along those lines if they could. I don't know that they could do that though. That'd be pretty hard to shut down part of that pool.
right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Janice is saying we have a trip in November. They canceled all of our meals. And she says if we cancel, we'll have to give up some of our borrowed points.
Yeah.
The people that I've seen a lot of people canceling, but not DVC members. I've seen a lot of people with cash days.
They're saying just peace out.
They're like, you know what, I postponed, especially for, Samantha, I think you're still under a travel restriction for coming.
Yes. So I am from one of the 3 restricted states, New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York. So I think that lifts, or it's supposed to expire on July 7th. But if they extend it, you're going to have a huge group of people who were planning to come to Disney who can't, because there's nowhere I can go to quarantine for 14 days before vacation.
Right.
So,
and I think, and then you think about international travel. So there's a lot of UK, and that was the reason why the dining plan was canceled. So dining plan is essentially gone until at least September 2021. And the reason why is because UK can book up until September 2021, which is, if you think, I guess it's the end of their fiscal year 21.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Got it. Just buzzing through some more of these comments here. Janice was saying that she has a trip in November and they canceled all of our meals. Oh, I already got that. And then Stephanie was saying split stay at Vero in Boardwalk July
That's a
18th.
great split stay.
That'll be fun.
That is a great split stay.
Vero's fantastic. Vero's fantastic.
And then Jennifer was saying, I'm concerned about the limitations on the number of days we can get park reservations. We fly 2,500 miles to be there, so we take less frequent, longer trips.
See, and I'm in the same boat as Jennifer, being from Nebraska, we fly. And so we don't go very often. And, that is my biggest concern.
I understand it's a concern. But I really just don't feel, because if you think about capacity, the parks on an average day is usually, what I understand, is at 50% capacity on an average day. So going down to 20%, you're cutting that into like 40% of what it normally is a day. That's the resorts. Now you might not get, if you want to get into Magic Kingdom a certain day, or you may not get into the park, but I think you'll be able to get a reservation for a park.
Yeah.
At least every day of your vacation. They want to take care of their guests. I think and then second to that will be APs. But you just have to make sure when the reservations open, you go. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go walk in the day before we leave and decide which park I'm going to go to. But DVC members aren't like that. So I understand the concern, and especially flying. I mean, I drive 250, so I understand the concern. But I think that you should just kind of relax. I think that's not going to be a concern. I feel like they're going to take care, like Chad said, they're going to take care of our DVC members. They're going to take care of their resort guests.
Yeah. Yep. So let's come back in and see if we can catch up on our comments here, because I think we've got more comments than we have time for tonight.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's great. I'm so excited that we had so much comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Tracy was saying, oh, that was her kid's wish as well. Must have been to go to Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And and Jean was saying July 10th for us. We need to cancel June 9th to close our 900 points wrapped up in this mess. Holy cow, Jean.
900 points. I have point envy.
That was a heck of a trip.
But still, that's it's hoping that they release info for park reservation before we decide whether to cancel. Yeah. That's a lot on the line, Jean. That's a lot. Okay.
I think we'll be getting the info for the new system any day now. Like we're too close to opening to not have more details about it.
We hope, right? And then Ron was saying, really hope things are much closer to normal for our February trip that you're taking, my mother on for her first time, for her 75th. I wouldn't want her first time to be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
magic.
Okay, can we just say how cute Ron's picture is?
Yeah, that is a cute little kid.
That's just adorable.
Yep. So Mike says, I'm very interested to see how dining will work for the resort starting June 22nd.
That will be
because
interesting.
you really can't have guests there with no place for them to eat.
Yeah.
Okay. And if the parks aren't open, they're Roaring Fork and whatever. Okay. With everybody going to Copper Creek from earlier tonight.
It's going to be a lot of people eating at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of people at Disney Springs.
I mean, studio folks, we're resourceful without a full kitchen, but we're not that resourceful.
Right.
Yeah. And then Michelle's saying she's staying at Beach Club 625 to the 29th. So
You know, that might be just really lovely. That
Yeah.
might be really nice.
that could be a really great resort
'Cause that's
only
a-
stay.
That's
The
a
only-
really great staycation place.
The only problem is you've only got that little quick serve quasi.
There's not a lot of eat at.
No, not
places
a lot of
to eat
options.
there. You got Cape
you
Mays,
have-
which
you
is
have-
expensive.
Boardwalk, and is Swan and Dolphin open?
I don't
I'm
know. I
not
have not
sure.
heard from them.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, I don't really follow that there, but
Yeah, neither do I.
yeah. Kathy was saying she saw a 2018 chart with park capacity and average attendance, and even at 50% capacity, the numbers weren't much that lower than average attendance. I wonder what percent capacity they'll be aiming for. That's a really good point, and I've heard that brought up a couple times.
Mhm.
I think they did Shanghai's was 25 to 30% of their
They said
capacity.
they were allowed 30. They started at 20.
Yeah.
And then they increased it. And now I think they're well above it. So
And then, Gene also says so hard to know whether to keep the reservation based on hopes of snagging a park reservation.
Well, and with you having 900 points wrapped up in that trip,
That's a
I
big gamble.
totally understand that
Yeah.
fear. And I would be right there with you. Yeah. I don't know if it got to June 8th and they hadn't announced yet, Gene. I don't know. I probably
Because-
bail.
Just
Yeah, I
looking at
told-
the dues on that is
That's an
like
expensive
6-7
trip.
grand of
Yeah,
dues.
that's a lot.
Okay, that's a lot in there. Okay,
I mean, I
That's a
have
lot.
44 points for October, and I'm concerned about losing them. So
Yeah, I think we've got to really feel there. Okay, Sean was saying August trip, 3 adults, 3 kids. The 3 adults have AP, and the 3 kids have hoppers. Do you think when the reservation system is set up for APs to reserve spots, they'll allow the kids as well, but they're linked in MDE?
yeah,
Yeah, I
think
think they're
so.
going
I
to
think
take care of you there because they're not going to want to split up a family.
yeah. I
Okay.
think it's going to go by reservation.
I think it's going to go by, if you have a resort reservation, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then David was saying here that just a
True.
reminder, Old Key West has 4 pools.
And it's a big spread out resort.
And they have really big rooms.
That maybe I should look and see if Old Key West has room for me.
You should.
Maybe I should do that, Chad.
You could. I would. Getting Mary Ann out of someplace other than Saratoga, that's a win in my book.
That is my
Okay?
husband's favorite resort. The fact that we are waitlisted for partial of our vacation to get into Boardwalk.
And let me
he's
tell
just
you
like, I don't understand why. He's like, we can just stay at Old Key West the rest of our lives and I'll be happy.
And I'm going to tell you, Mary Ann, those rooms are so huge. You got room to social distance within your room.
Oh
Okay?
yeah. Those one
And those-
rooms.
Not even that, you're in the studios. There are 2 regular queen size beds.
Right. Yeah.
I would look into that.
Yep.
Maybe we will. I
Maybe
don't know.
the first 2 nights, the standard, just switch it.
But I want to try to see if I get a preferred new refurbished
No,
room.
but I'm saying
guys.
the standard room, the
Maybe
2
if
nights in the standard.
No
First
refurb for
tonight.
you. Okay. No refurb for you. I'm
The
already
2 nights
calling
in
it.
the standard, and then switch over to Saratoga. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
call. And usually Old Key West is usually less points because I know you're like a saver.
I am. It's about equal though to
Oh, sorry.
most
To the
Saratoga
standard.
points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yep.
equal.
Yeah.
So Tracy was saying, I think the cancellations had to do with updating the computer system with like the random ones that we saw. They weren't
Probably.
consistently applied. That could be. Maybe they're pulling them out by deal. Mark brings up a really great point. Okay. That his largest concern for our trip is the flight, not
Mhm.
Disney.
Now that's where I would wear a mask.
That is where I'm wearing a mask as well, and I'll just suck
Mark,
it up.
as someone who flies, and I mean, I'm not going to drive it. I specifically booked my flights in and out of Kansas City for this trip instead of Omaha, where we live. And I'm going to drive the 3.5 hours to Kansas City because I can book direct flights from Kansas City and I don't have to hop between multiple airports. And to me, the direct flights took a little bit, and the Kansas City airports, like the Omaha airport, they're really small airports. They aren't these giant behemoth airports like Atlanta.
Yeah.
So if I can avoid having to dump in a small airport or in a big airport on my way, or even two airport. There was a flight that it looked like price-wise I wanted to do, but there were 2 stops. I was like, I am not going to 2 extra airports and picking up 2 extra airports worth of germs. No, thank you.
And then Mark added, he wants a full suit, not a mask.
Yeah.
Mark
Bubble
will be
boy.
that guy in the hazmat suit.
Okay, Bubble Boy. 2319. 2319.
By the way, did you guys see the really adorable video this week that a grandkid like taped up all of this
and made like a
plastic
hug suit
and put like arms to get a hug in there from their grandparents? That was so cool.
It made me cry. I'm just gonna say
that was so cool.
It made me cry.
We just need to get Mark a mobile one of those suits. Okay? And then Scott says he's going the first week of September. My meal reservation's still showing up in the MDE app.
Aren't you lucky?
That won't be for long.
Then Amanda says we're hoping for February as well. We can't borrow enough points, so we'll book a second room, and they'll book a room the second they open up hotel reservations again. And Ron was saying thank you so much. That's his first grandchild, and she was born on 3/21.
Oh, wow.
So really new one and really cute. So we'll send our congrats to the parents on that one, right? And then
Jean says it's a 15-day trip.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a graduation trip. I saw
900 points, 15 days.
Graduation. And then she has points at Riviera and Old Key West.
And Jean, as a mom of a senior who just graduated via computer, I totally,
Yep. Bonnie says, how long do you think the mask will be mandatory?
I'm thinking September. I'm going to put my money on September. I'm going to say after Labor Day.
I'm hoping that it only lasts a week, and then by the time I'm there, it's done.
I mean,
not going to happen.
I'm kind of hoping that they see Universal, it doesn't really go well, and then by the time we come in end of July, it's gone. But my money's on after Labor Day.
No,
I'm thinking it's going to take a CDC disapproval and saying these are not necessary, these are not this.
But they change their mind every day.
It's true. They do.
They said the other day, it was like, oh, it's not transmitted via touching things. Oh, but it is. So it's every day it's different.
Yeah, but I'm thinking legally Disney's going to want some kind of official government CYA saying they can relax past this.
Yeah. I think we'll be looking at mid-September.
But I think if it also starts to hurt their bottom line, and once they start to increase capacity and people aren't coming, because there might be people that will come, but I know all of my friends who aren't Disney people but had trips planned have canceled. They're like, we're not doing masks. We're not doing masks. So they're like, well, wait till the masks are. And that's people that are local, not local.
Oh, trust me, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but these are people that probably spend less money than you because they can just drive. It's like, you know what, we'll just wait. So I think once it starts to hit their bottom line and they want to increase capacity and then people aren't coming, then maybe then it's like, okay, well, let's see. But the unions are requiring it. So that's another thing. I'm in HR. I dealt with unions.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. So, but my money's on after Labor Day. We'll see.
Okay. So Sean's writing here. We know for the time being that character meals and buffets are out. What are your thoughts on places like Teppan-Edo and the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review?
I don't know about Teppan-Edo.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one, but
that's like the Japanese steakhouse, right?
Yeah, it's hibachi style. So you're around a table with a bunch of other people.
I think that they could maybe sit 2 families, but with a couple people, maybe not the whole table.
With like
Yeah,
seats in
but
between.
Places like Hoop, everything is served family style.
They're not
Okay.
going to be there. Anything where things are served family style, they're not going to be able to do for a while. They just aren't. I mean, even if it's just your family.
But that's where I disagree, because I think obviously we know character dining's out. Then the big question is, are they going to open those dining locations up? And obviously buffets are out. Like they're just out for now. But then those restaurants that are family style, I don't see why you can't share with your family. If your guys are sharing a hotel room, what's the problem with sharing food as a family? So,
and even when they bring you more food, it's on a new plate. It's not like they're refilling whatever plate was already on your table.
They could be converting that to a plated meal system. Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I still think
foreseeable.
I still think Hoop will be out, because I'm going to guess that since all of the people in the show have not been together during this time of social distancing, singing that close to each other in the show, because the transmission has said that when you sing, you transmit a whole lot more of the germ.
But I don't think it's going to.
I'm going to guess if the union says they have to wear masks, that they're not going to think those shows aren't going to open
right away. I don't think it's going to open right away, but I think they'll probably open again, talking mid-September. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think they're going to open right away. I think that they're going to gradually, just like Disney Springs, like not all the restaurants open the same day. They all kind of slowly opened, and not even everything's opened yet.
Yeah.
So,
yep. So Scott brings up a great point here. He's staying at the tree houses at SSR. Social distance is not an issue. And no, it is not, because those things are in the boonies of Disney.
Yep.
Okay. Food, on the other hand, might be a different issue.
At least you got a kitchen. I mean, you
have a kitchen. You could get food delivered. You can do Uber Eats as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you have your own car, that's not a problem to just pop off property either. So yeah. But relying on Disney transportation and Disney food at the tree houses would not be my plan. No. Even if things were fully operational, wouldn't be my plan. And don't get me wrong, I love the tree houses. Love them. Been there a couple times. And Bonnie, I'm not sure what you love there, but thanks. We'll take the compliments. Okay.
I think she was our discussion about masks and maybe not needing them.
Our predictions.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Don't like our prediction. We know nothing, Bonnie. So don't, know.
Not a doctor.
And I agree with Mark. The Mark is I agree.
Yeah. Disney doesn't want to be called a hotspot, so they will say no mask after everyone else stops.
Very true.
Yeah. Yep. And then Janice is saying that they did cancel their hoop-de-doo. And Ohana, I'm thinking Ohana. Well, at least it's your own family there, right? You're not sharing a table with anybody other than your own family. So
we'll know as soon as they open up reservations, because if they open up reservations for Ohana and Garden Grill and a few of those others that are like that.
Right. I agree.
Even though you can't have the characters in those space, you might as well open it up to just regular dining, because then that's more places for people to eat and spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Amanda was saying here that I think more buffets will go to tickets where you request food, or more family style meals at Disney where you share your food with families at home. I'm afraid Hoop will be out for now. I think so as well.
Yeah.
And then this one's funny. Singing in masks. No thanks to listening to that. And
exactly.
Well, I hope for our friend Rob and them.
Yes.
I hope that they get recalled soon. So I just want to bring up, because we did have a couple people bring up Moonlight Magic. So
let's go back to that.
What do we think what's going to happen with Moonlight Magic? So there's one June 29th at Epcot. They haven't officially canceled yet. So DVC Resort. Yeah, I think so too.
I do too.
I think so too. Tyson Lagoon, and
it's okay. But the thing about Moonlight Magic is it's different from the Halloween party and the Christmas party. It is completely free for the guests.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make them any money. It's not free for
DVC, who pays $500,000 a night to host those parties.
Right. And they've been losing money like crazy, right?
Do we think they sold Jack in 3 months?
Do we think they're all gone for the rest of the year?
I think so.
I do too.
I think they're gone for the rest of the year. They're goodbye. They're not coming back till 2021 and
Or maybe
then
even
mid-year.
2022,
Yeah.
because it may be a, big celebration type thing after the 50th anniversary type of thing. I mean, all the way to October of 2021 before it even gets brought up again, because again, they've been losing money. And I just don't see.
I just wish they would make an announcement because they've only canceled. I mean, they still haven't even canceled June 29th yet.
Yeah.
So just make a decision, because people do have we have 2 trips now. Obviously, we're still going in July, but we have our October trip was booked around that Moonlight Magic. So we might, change it or move it or cancel it altogether if it's not happening. And it's just good to know ahead of time if they're going to cancel it.
And the other problem that Moonlight Magic presents, it's just logistically, like if they're trying to deep clean these parks every night,
right,
they're already cutting park hours so that they have more time to do that before like the next round of people come in the morning. So you're keeping the park open for an extra 5 hours for DVC members. That's going to cut your cleaning time like basically in half. So
I think it's 3, right? Is it 3?
What's it, 3? I don't know.
I don't remember.
But
Well,
it's a long time to keep it open after.
Yeah, it's usually till midnight. So, and if they closed at 9, it would be 3 hours. If they closed at 8, it would be longer. If it's Animal Kingdom, my gosh,
then
Animal Kingdom's going back to like 6 p.m. or
6.
something crazy.
But
No,
then they've
and-
got the hour that it takes to get everybody out of the park. I mean,
Yeah.
at least an hour to get all the people out of the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah.
They're not doing fireworks right now. I mean, I just don't.
And you'll have the DVC members that come in. I think we were allowed to come in starting at like 6 or 7 o'clock. I think that's where I got the 5
Right.
hours from. So you have people who didn't have park tickets but are now coming in with all the park people. So
Well,
yeah,
I
it's
just
a
laughed
big-
because I remember an episode where I said, this is the year I'm going to go to 4 Moonlight Magic. And now I'm going to 9.
I was supposed to be at Disney every season this year, and that's not happening. So
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
feel ya.
You guys did have those goals. So
Yeah.
it'll be
And-
next
and
year's goal.
That's why I'm not saying that I want to stay in Congress Park.
that's okay. Your bad karma is going to come back at you. So just mark my words there. Just mark my words. Mark my words.
That's okay. Springs is really close to a cool pool with a water slide,
Yeah.
and actually close to 2 of them.
And I think part of Springs is done. Not a lot, but part of Springs is already complete. So you might get lucky.
I didn't last time.
Okay.
I didn't. That's okay. There's cool. You know what? Katie and I are totally cool. We're totally cool because you know what? It's not our last trip. We're going to go again and again and again.
And that's the beauty of DVC. And I think that's the point. I think the people that are canceling are the ones that are not DVC because it's a lot of money. But even though it's still money for DVC owners, it's less. It's less. And we know we're coming back.
Yeah.
See, I have no problems coming back in and like postponing my deal. I'm looking at this going $6,600 for this 4-night cruise. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to be less than what I think is magical, but I'm paying full retail for it.
Right.
Mhm.
So to me, that's just not a good value proposition.
No. It's
So
not.
I have a question for you, Chad. If it gets canceled, because I do think it's going to get canceled. If it gets canceled, will you take the 100% refund or will you take the 125% credit towards a future cruise?
So I've already had to make that decision because my paid in full date has already come, the original one.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So we did not pay in full on that. And so we're
Okay.
holding out because the other thing was I've heard that if Disney cancels the cruise, the
Right.
travel agent still gets paid. Okay.
Oh,
And so Donna
okay.
Bickert from like episode 9 is the
Right.
travel agent for this cruise for me. And so I don't want to cancel in hopes that they do it and I can still get Donna some cash here.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what I'm really hoping for. Okay.
Okay.
But I looked at that option and remember next year I'm planning on a grand villa in Alani. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going like way over there. Okay.
Yeah.
We might, and then this year I banked all of my Grand Cal points. Okay. So I've got Grand Cal points that I have to use next year. And God
2021
forbid-
is pretty much booked.
yeah, my 2021 between, what, 8-9 nights in a Grand Villa
Yeah.
plus, 400 Grand Cal points to blow. I'm out of money and out of vacation time. Okay.
Right.
And like, cleaned out of points. So for me to say I'm going to go back to Walt Disney World or go back to a cruise, I just don't have it in the deal. So it was
Right.
like, man, if they would have given me instead of 18 months, 24 months, and I could have done this in the summer of 2022, I'd have been all on it.
Right.
Okay. Because then we could have essentially snuck in maybe a 7-night for the cost of 4. Okay.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, so that's that's it there. Right. And
So does anybody else have any questions or comments? I know it's a little over 10 o'clock, so we're at the end.
Gene was saying, that's correct, Chad. You do get commission on the canceled cruise as well as the rebook. Oh, wow. So they'll pay you twice.
Oh,
So that's a real, well, I mean, it's double the work for the agent. Okay.
It's a lot of work. For
Which
the agent.
was the other thing that I really thought was kind of raw for canceling all these fast passes and ADRs and all this other stuff. All those travel agents got up and booked that for all of those people.
and they got
Oh,
no
yeah.
warning. I talked
No.
to Christy from
Yeah.
DCL podcast, and she said we got a warning saying, check your email later. Disney's going to be making a big announcement. And they got the email an hour after Disney Parks blog posted it.
Yep, that's
Wow.
what we got too. It was way after everybody else knew about it. Travel
Yeah.
agents got it.
So
And that's our thing, is booking your fast passes and booking your dining. So now, one of those things is completely taken away and we don't really know what dining's going to look like. So,
and for people who, I mean, once the resort's open, people who, I'm a person that stays on property. I like being in the bubble, but I'm a diehard. For those that aren't, what's the incentive to stay on property? Extra magic hours gone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The fast pass early window gone. So what's the incentive?
If
You
they
know-
don't start giving us on property some like
Because the buses are
edge
probably
to get into the
gone
parks,
too.
what's the point? To your point, right?
Mhm.
I mean, bank it, save your money, stay off property. Okay. Because let's be honest, is real here. Transportation may or may not be up.
Right.
Okay. Are you really going to want to be social distancing on Disney buses? So no thanks. So you're probably going to be renting a car and driving every place anywhere.
And being charged for parking.
yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have your AP, you're not. So
Right. True.
right? But yeah. And so that's all, kind of my thoughts there. But
And
Just coming
Amy
back
made a good
into-
question.
just finishing up Jean's comment,
Sure.
she was saying she took the 125% and she won't be needing the spending money to go on the same trip,
Good.
next year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's like a free massage, free whatever, free. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. So, and then Amy was saying, is there any indication of when non-DVC will opens? I know they quietly removed the language that indicate,
And it wasn't so quietly. They came out and said it was an error.
Mhm.
they definitely pulled that back off.
My guess on that one is DVC is going to open first, and then they're going to open the rest of the deluxes, but they're probably going to only open up 50% of the capacity of a deluxe.
Mhm.
And then they're going to open 50% of moderate, and then they're going to sit.
And then
And
they'll
it's going to
probably
be a long time before
well, they'll
they
probably be
open.
giving all of Coronado Springs to the
It's
NBA.
off- yeah.
Okay.
Coronado-
Yeah, that's
Coronado-
gone.
Like that's just off the table. Okay.
So my guess,
And-
it'll be a long time though before they're going to open up value. So if you were one of those people that tacked on a couple of days at a value resort to your DVC stay, that may not be, a lot of people do that, I know. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure
and-
that's going to be a wise to count on that.
Melissa has a great comment here as well that they give us free dining and then took it away. Now would they give us anything else like gift cards? I'm sure they'll make it up somehow. Okay.
They're giving 35%
35% off the room weight.
on
Yeah.
room onlys. So
Which is a-
35%. That's pretty decent.
Yeah. Usually the AP discount is usually around 25%. So
It's
30
still not equaling out if I pack out a room to the max.
no,
with-
it doesn't. It
No.
doesn't equal out for the free dining, but
No.
Yeah. And then Katie was saying that we drive from Jersey and are planning to drive to the parks.
There you
So
go.
There you go, Samantha. Just sneak on down.
I
right?
will not be driving from Jersey, but I am thinking about renting a car when we get there.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience to drive from Jersey.
Well, just hop a ride with them.
I'll bring snacks.
And
No.
no, Melissa. There might be some cast members watching and commenting, but none of the four of us are.
No.
So
And so you can take our thoughts as just random thoughts.
Yeah. we're just
people
pontificating.
We know
and-
nothing.
We're sitting at the pool bar with you at the Poly, just jawing away. Okay, that's who we are.
I was gonna say, and Shannon's even got her drink with her. So
Yeah. Not a cast member, not a
Mickey on
doctor.
It's got Mickey on it.
Yep. So, anyways, that pretty much wraps up tonight's show. And I do want to say thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thank you to DVC Rental Store and DVC Resale Market and Monera Financial for sponsoring the podcast. And we kind of throw in some shout outs to them on this show for free, just because they're so cool. And we appreciate that. Appreciate all the Patreons as well over at patreon.com/mydvcpoints. You guys are really helping us come back in. So I'm making some significant investments into the show to move us into more video content and more YouTube level of content as well. So that's kind of where we're headed here in the future going forward. And all of that funding really comes in. I just got hit with like $1,200 worth of video cost this week. Okay. It was like, wow. Yeah. Video. Audio is cheap. Like you get into video and it's just like they just nail you to the wall. But anyways, thank you to everybody else. And then Janice says thank you. And then Katie says thank you all. Great show. And have a magical night. We'll see you real soon. And that sounds like a great wrap up thought.
I think
there.
so too.
So thanks everybody for tuning in. You guys have a great one. We will see you next Sunday. And then if you want to play trivia with us on Wednesday and Friday, we're doing that as well. So hope to see you over at Mouse Quiz sometime as well.
Come play
Thanks,
Mouse
everybody.
Quiz. Come play with us. It's fun.
Oh, yes. Have a great night.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.
Yep.
Bye.